Hi everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day or night. Let's take a look at this example. So here we have a graph of h of x given to us right here. And using this graph, we want to answer part A to D. So let's take a look at part A. So for part A, we want to evaluate this function at these specific function values. So for h of -2, so again, you look at the x value, -2, and read off the y corresponding y value of that. So here's -2. So as you go along this, that's your y value. That's your h of -2. So that point happens to be 2. So h of -2 is 2. Similarly, for h of 0, again, we look at our x value 0 and read off the y value. It looks like the graph is at 0, so h of 0 is 0. And then now for the next one, h of 2, again, we look at x equals 2, read off the y value. Here is 2, and our y value is going to be somewhere up here. That's where the graph is. So our y value is going to be 4. So h of 2 is 4. And lastly, for h of 3, again, we look at 3 on the graph. So 3 is right here. And we go up to the graph. Our h of 3 is that point. That happens to be 5. So there we have our function values of these particular given x values. So that's for part A. Now for part B, we want to find the domain and range of this particular graph. So for the domain, we're going to look along the x-axis and see where the graph exists. So let's clear this up. So the graph exists right here. So from -3 all the way up to right here. So that'll be 4. So our domain, so for part B, our domain of h is going to be including -3 all the way to 4. So that's the domain. Now for the range of h of x, so for the range, we're going to look at the y values. So from the lowest to highest, the graph exists from here, and then you go along the y-axis and stop right there because that's where the graph stops existing. So that means our range is going to go from 0 all the way to 5. So range, you look along the y-axis. All right, so now for the next part, we want to find what are the x values for which h of x is 4. H of x, again, is y value. So when is y value 4? So again, find 4 along the y-axis, and then you draw a horizontal line and read off those corresponding x values. So here we get an x when it is 4 for the y. Here's another point when our y value is 4, and here's another place. So these are the corresponding x values. So you'll have x equals -3, 2, and 4. So those are the x coordinates when your h of x is 4. All right, now for the last part, we're going to figure out what are the x values when h of x is less than or equal to 4. That means your y value, you want them to be 4 or less. So again, let's consider that horizontal line one more time right here at 4. And we want y values to be less than 4. So less than 4 are right here. So these are the ones. We want all of this because they're all less than 4. And then we also want this one because that's also at 4. So that's going to be an interval as your answer. So it's going to be from -3 all the way to that point 2. So our h of x is less than or equal to 4 when x is in the interval -3 to 2, and when x is equal to exactly 4. So that's this one right here, because that's when we're also equal to 4. So our h of x is less than or equal to 4 on this interval, and also at this point right here. All right, I hope this makes sense. See you next time.